My name's Lamar Eason. I'm the principal at Bayview Community School in Mahone Bay. We are part of the South Shore Regional Center for Education. I think there's been a number of people that have inspired me to be an educator over the course of my life. I think as I got older, I came across a lot of educators who I worked with, who I worked for, that really taught me or pushed me to be my best. One that stands out, Steve Carrington, got to work with him in my role through RCH, and he was a real inspiration to me, mainly because of the outlook that he had on education, student-centered, and always thinking, what are we doing to better our schools? So I think as a person of color in schools, I think there's a number of challenges. I think dealing with racial issues is one that comes to all schools and all communities. I think those are always hard because they're difficult conversations for people to have. I think they are difficult topics to address because at the end of the day, I think most people don't want to be perceived, as being against anyone. But I think our biggest challenge in education when it comes to race is addressing those issues and being mindful and purposeful when we address them. So for me, I think an important thing is having representation in schools, being able to see yourself. I remember going through school and not really seeing myself in the teaching staff and the books we read and those kinds of things. I think we've gotten a lot better about that going into communities and encouraging people to go into the field of education, but it's a tough field, and so I think there's still some work to do there. I think the advice I would give to other administrators of color, other teachers of color, I think the biggest thing is being yourself, not compromising your values, not compromising who you are and what you believe. Systems are systems, and so we want to work within systems in order to be the best version of ourselves and to also show the successes of our communities, of our culture, of the people that look like us within our schools and our classrooms, and just making sure that we are true to who we are, we're true to our culture, and we don't compromise that. For me to address inequities in our education system, the key word is addressing them. So policies are always going to come out, guidelines are always going to come out. I think in any of those cases, they're going to be written for the majority of people. But what we know historically and systemically is policies and guidelines impact certain groups of people. I think for us as educators, we have to be very critical thinkers when it comes to when we're putting policy and guidelines into place, how does that impact those groups? It's hard conversations. They're hard decisions that are made, but I think being vulnerable ourselves in order to make those tough decisions so that all kids, not the majority, but all kids are impacted positively. For the future of education, I envision an equitable system, never gonna be easy, but I'd like to think that we can get there and continue to move forward. For me, I think it also means that we have to be transparent when we're making decisions around funding, around policy, and we have to have a true voice of our communities, of our marginalized communities, of our underserved communities, not just, kind of lip service. But I think it's important for us to go to those communities, spend time and ask questions. When we ask questions, we need to hear, we need to listen, and we need to be willing to change what we do as an education system in order to create an equitable system. But I think it's important for us to really highlight the learning for our students and let them see that Black excellence is all around us year after year, and it's something to be in awe of. African Heritage Month is important for us to think about the history that we have and the future that we have coming. I think it's important for our students to understand what's come before them, where they're at now, and where they're going, and always for students to understand and communities and families to know that there are great things ahead.